to all of you, and good morning to all those who joined through online. Right, friends. First of all, I welcome all of you to this introductory session on anthropology optional. Right. So in this class, let us try to decode anthropology as an optional subject for UPSC. Right. So first, like before we go on with our classes, let's try to understand what is basically anthropology and how anthropology plays a vital role in your UPSC civil services mains. Okay, so this should be our focus in today's class, so that you will get to clear everything about what's the syllabus and how it will fetch you or how it will help you in mains. So all those things, let's try to understand. Okay, first I'll explain everything about anthropology optional, then I'll open the floor for doubts. So wherever you have the questions, there you can just pick the questions and you can just ask the questions and I'll answer for those questions, right? And meanwhile, in the class, if you have any doubts, you can just raise the hand so that I'll just take the doubt and then we can proceed. So like that, let's proceed. First of all, let's begin with a fair quote. If we want to be successful in life, we need to have some mantra, success mantra. So for today, in this fine morning, let's have a fine mantra for this successful life. So one of the way to become successful in life is taking a right decision at the right time. When we take a right decision at the right time, definitely it will drive us in a right direction. Right? So this is very, very important if we want to become successful. That means decisions should be fair and it should be right. Okay, so keeping and driven by the inspiration of this thought or this quote, let's try to see how we can become successful in UPSC mains. Okay, that means if we want to become successful in UPSC, what we have to do? What we have to do means we have to select a right optional at the right time with the right strategy and at the right place under a right mentor. Okay, so I'm making this statement that you have to select the right optional at the right time with the right strategy, right? And that too under at a right place under a right mentor. See, why am I bringing optional as a success mantra for UPSC is that optional plays a greater and vital role in mains. In the sense, if you see, we have 7 papers where we have essay paper and 4 GS papers, and apart from that, we will have optional paper also. So if you look amongst all those, generally those 5 papers, 1 essay and 4 optionals, 4 GS papers, all of them will be common to all. That means everyone will have those papers similar to that, similar to everyone. In the sense, there is no special choice of selection of their own interest. But optional subject is the subject where we can have a separate, some kind of separate privileges from that side. So if we want to say some of the important aspects of optional subject, optional subject, it gives a right to choice of selection to aspirants. That means based on your own field of interest, based on your own choice, obviously you can select an optional. Okay, and before selecting an optional, we shall have to check about some criteria how to select and how to choose an optional. Okay, so as it gives a right to choice, so from that point of view, it is one of the best because you can choose the subject of your own choice, right? And second thing is that optional subject, generally it acts as a catalyst to boost your score. Catalyst to boost your score in the sense, let's see how this will happen. So generally catalyst to boost your score. So generally what happens means all those aspirants who give the exam, and if you analyze the scores of toppers, mostly out of all the 5 papers, they will get around 500 to 600. This would be the maximum range. That means out of 1250, they will get that marks. Okay, and if you see in optional subjects, in 2 papers of optional subject, there is every possibility to score in between 300 to 350. Okay, see, out of 1250 you are scoring, maximum would be 600, but out of 500 you are scoring this much. So this is one thing which is astonishing from optional paper point of view. So here what I am trying to say you is that, so from that point of view, as we can score at least in the sense half of the score that we are getting from GS papers, it can be from optional paper. That is one of the beauty of optional. So from that point of view, it can boost your preparation. It can boost your score likewise. And apart from that, like optional subject also, it provides an extra advantage over other aspirants if you happen to choose a subject which has better overlapping with GS portions. Okay, there are so many optionals, but your choice should be in such a way that the syllabus of that optional should overlap with majority of the portions of GS sections. Okay, so that you can get an extra advantage over other aspirants. So these things you'll be getting from optional subject. Okay, so if we analyze the past trends of optional subjects, like there are so many popular optional subjects, like it can be political science, international relations, it can be sociology, it can be like public administration or like geography. So there are so many popular optionals, but out of all the available optionals, one of the most popular and hot favorite and most successful optional is anthropology. Okay, so let us try to understand more and let us try to see how anthropology is the right optional and the best optional, and how it is the hot favorite optional for most successful students. Okay, so that's we are going to decode now. So if you see, like if we learn about anthropology, before we see why it is a best optional for anthropology, first of all we have to understand, some of you might be very new to the UPSC, so that you might not be aware of what is anthropology first. So first let's try to understand basically what is anthropology, then let us try to understand why anthropology is the best option. Okay, so if we want to answer the question for this, that is, what is anthropology? Anthropology is, in simple manner, it is nothing but it is a systematic study of man and his activities. Systematic study of man, in the sense, like we will try to study everything about humans. That means from beginning, from the origin of human being as a species to present situation, and what is all happening in the society also we will be reading in anthropology. Okay, that is one thing. So in very simple manner to say, anthropology refers to simply the study of man. Study of man, iska matlab ye hai ki jaise whatever man will do, that means as a member of society, man performs certain functions, like every person, like he will undergo for some of the activities, like for every person there would be a group of members called family. Okay, so we will study about the issues, things like family, and every person in his life, he go through the process of marriage. So we will study about marriage as a social institution, and then we will study how other aspects, like every person will have relationship with his family members and relatives, so that is kinship. So we will study how this kinship has started, so relations and how we call and all those things. So then, like, man has created some of the organizations, like political organization, economic organization, all of those for his survival, right? So we will try to study about those organizations. So apart from that, like there are certain biological aspects. Biological aspects means like how the life has originated, evolution of human being, and after evolution, like how life is sustaining, and various biological aspects, so which you have studied in your basic science. So that thing, let's try to we will be studying. And in the similar fashion, like we will we have a peculiar thing called language. So we will try to study how language has originated and what are the various theories of language and all such kind of things. So whatever man will do, so we will try to study about that. So that would be our subject matter in anthropology. Okay, and if we happen to see the syllabus, generally, like mostly syllabus would be divided under 6 topics. We can divide the syllabus into 6 topics, and this is how only we are going to study. In the sense, like as I have told you, generally to say, like we will have, basically anthropology can be divided into 4 branches. One would be socio-cultural anthropology, which covers various social aspects of human being, like as we have discussed, family, marriage, kinship, all such things. Then there would be some something like biological aspects, like what is genetics, or like what is growth and development, all such things. Okay, applied anthropology, everything would be covered under the physiological anthropology. Then linguistic anthropology is one another branch where we will study about the languages, all those things, like various languages available across the world and India, all such things. So then archaeological anthropology, that means with the available remains of the past, we will try to study how how we can study the past history of man. So likewise, so apart from that, like we will have tribal anthropology and Indian anthropology, like various aspects of Indian anthropology and various aspects of tribals, because tribals are the primitive or predecessors of modern man. So we have to study that one also. So this would be the major thing which we are going to understand in anthropology. Okay, so by this time, like, do you have idea like what is anthropology and what anthropology consists of? So with this knowledge, let us try to understand why anthropology is the best optional subject for UPSC. Okay, so why means there are certain factors, and we will try to understand this syllabus, and same thing I have explained also. We will try to understand this one when we go to syllabus part. Okay, so first, if you try to answer this question, that is why anthropology is the best optional subject, there are certain parameters on which we can judge an optional. So first parameter is that we have to look at the nature of the syllabus. If we look at the very basic nature of the syllabus of anthropology, the syllabus is very well defined in the notification itself and with well predictable nature of the questions. That means syllabus is very well defined. It has been clearly mentioned in the notification itself that these portions would be covered under this thing. And simply to say, some subjects will involve implicit topics, but in anthropology, like we won't have such kind of thing, and things would be direct. Likewise, and questions also, if you happen to read or if you happen to go through the syllabus properly, most of the questions would be in a direct format. It would be given in a direct format, and from the syllabus itself they'll be picked. Likewise, and we will see some of the past questions also, so that you will get an idea how the questions would be asked. Okay, so one thing is that syllabus is very well defined. Okay, we will see the syllabus also. That is one thing. So next thing is that the nature of the subject. If you look at the nature of the subject, like anthropology is more of static subject than dynamic subject, more of static. So I'm making a statement that it is more of a static, because if you look at some other subjects, it may be like political science and international relations, where international relations would be mostly dynamic. It would be dominated by current oriented things and current topics. Okay, and other topics also, like where we have to update thoroughly with the current updates, likewise, right? So but if you look in anthropology, there is no such kind of thing, in the sense like slight portion, like for example, wherever there are things related to tribals, so there we have to update about some schemes. Likewise, rest all would be normal, and for some basic case studies or basic examples, we have to update. Okay, from that point of view, it would be more of static. So what is the advantage if the subject is static? Means once you read, it's done and dusted. Okay, like slight updation would be enough. If you have a fair notes, if you prepare a fair notes once, obviously you don't need to just work on that notes again and again. Simply you can just keep updating the examples, you can keep updating the case studies, that's it. Okay, so that makes your job easy, because in UPSC we can't say when the selection will happen. It may take 1 year, within 1 year also it may happen, or it may take 3, 4, 5 years also. Okay, so from that point of view, like this subject will fetches you that advantage. That is one thing. So then third advantage or third factor is that the scoring prospects. Scoring prospects. Anthropology is one of the optional subject with highest scoring prospects. Let's have some of the examples. Let's see some of the toppers score also. So it is one of the optional with highest scoring prospects and most success rate. Okay, let's see how that is also, in the sense like roughly to say, for example, out of all the people, like the success rate of anthropology optional is 10%, 10% success rate. In the sense, roughly if 800 people will write the mains with anthropology optional, out of that roughly 80 people will select. So it's not a simple thing. Okay, one of the biggest competitor for anthropology is like sociology. So rest optionals, like there is little less success rate, in the sense like other optionals will hold like 5 to 8 or 5 to 8% success rate. Okay, so that's the success rate of anthropology optional. Okay, that is one thing. So then apart from this, what we have means the availability of resources. If we talk about the advantage of availability of resources, we have a good chunk of availability of resources. It can be in the form of books or references, or it can be in the form of availability of faculty, right? So we have that facility also, but for some optionals it's not the case. Some optionals lacks this resource availability. And finally, like syllabus overlapping. So we have to select such an optional which has greater overlapping with the major portions of the UPSC syllabus. So anthropology is one such optional, like which covers almost all the papers of your GS. Let's see like what portions would be covered through optional likewise, through anthropology likewise. Okay, so these are all inherent advantages that are there with you if you take anthropology as an optional, right? So let's see, first let's try to have a look at the syllabus, how the syllabus would be there, and what we are going to do. Okay, so as we were discussing, we will have 2 papers for optional. So in anthropology also we have 2 papers. So first paper has been generally divided into 4 sections. Okay, so what that 4 sections will consist means, so as I was showing you here, so we have 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2. So paper 1 consists of these portions. So it consists of syllabus related to physical anthropology, where we will study about the biological aspects of man, and socio-cultural anthropology. Here we will study about the social aspects of man, like family, marriage, kinship, likewise. So then we will have a portion related to linguistic anthropology, and then we will have archaeological anthropology. So these things we will be studying in paper 1 point of view. And apart from this, like we will have some approaches to study the culture, like anthropological theories and thoughts. So we will also study that in detail in paper 1. In paper 2, we will have the major 2 sections. One would be Indian anthropology, roughly half of the portion would be Indian anthropology, and the next portion would be the tribal anthropology. Okay, we will study that one also. So these are the major 6 portions which we will be covering in anthropology, right? So syllabus is very well defined, and this would be the syllabus. Okay, just anyhow you will be getting it from online also. You can just download or you can just collect from the management. So syllabus would be there. This one would be syllabus, and there are certain portions. We'll be beginning with the socio-cultural anthropology part, okay, where we will study about the topics like nature of culture, nature of society, like marriage, right, then family, likewise. So we have some topics. So just go through the syllabus so that you will get, like, we will have topic like kinship, then economic organization, okay, then political organization, religion, and anthropological theories and thoughts, like how the culture has evolved and various approaches to study the culture. So these things would be there in here. Then culture, language, communication. Then so we will have some biological portions like human genetics, then Mendelian genetics, chromosomes and chromosomal aberrations, likewise. Okay, if we study these topics, it will not only help from examination point of view, but also from our personal point of view also it will help. That means we can enrich ourselves. For example, like every one of you will go through the process of marriage. So just we will know what are different, how marriage has evolved as an institution, or like what are different marriage practices available, likewise. And family, like we will try to learn how family has evolved, and like various impacts of family structure, such kind of things. And generally, like at homes, the elders will say to generally to girls that to get married earlier. Why? Means like when they get married at later ages, after 30, 35 years, likewise, then there would be some inherent issues for them. So we will study about such kind of issues like chromosomal aberrations, like what kind of issues it may lead when a girl goes for late marriages after 35 years, likewise. So there are certain scientific basis for everything. So such kind of aspects also we will be studying. Okay, so so all such concepts would be covered, and this would be the syllabus for paper 1. Okay, just go through so that once you, if you go through, you will get to understand what topics are there for us, right? And we are going to cover this particular portion in and around 60 classes for paper 1, because the syllabus would be predominantly more for paper 1. So where we'll be doing this into different modules. Like you might have got the class schedule. So under that you can see the first roughly the first 15 classes would be allocated to socio-cultural anthropology portion. 15 classes would be allocated to socio-cultural anthropology up to 5th class 15, where you can see the religion topic. Okay, that's purely socio-cultural part. Then from class 16 to 27 or class 16 to class 30, it would be related to anthropological theories and thoughts, and that will also related to the socio-cultural part only, but we will talk about theories portion more, anthropological theories and thoughts. So in every subject we will have some scholars and they will give their opinions and the theories. So that portion would be studying in the next 15 classes. Okay, so then next 30 classes will be handling with the other portions like the physical anthropology portion and our biological anthropology. That means till class number 50 or class number 62, you can see class number 62. So class 62, there you can end the complete paper 1 portion. Paper 1 portion. So pure physical anthropology would be till class 55 or 56. So next module would be physical anthropology. So roughly they will go till up to class number 50. Okay, so class number 60. So then from roughly from 63rd class onwards, we'll be beginning our paper 2. Okay, so where we will just complete all other rest portion which is available in paper 2. Okay, so here we are moving with a sequence where by the time we will complete the paper 1, it gives a connectivity to paper 2 also. So we will have that one and we will just continue likewise. So that is one thing, and that's how we are going to flow. And here we will have 2 modules. One would be like for Indian anthropology and other would be for tribal anthropology. So together we will have roughly 30 classes and it will extend till other 5 to 10 classes. So roughly we may have like around 30 to 40 classes we can cover the entire syllabus. Okay, that's how we will progress in the classes, right? So that is with respect to the syllabus and how we will proceed in the classes. So then like we were talking about something called the success rate and marks. Okay, like as I was saying you, anthropology is one subject which gives you best marks, right? So can you guess what would be the top marks in any optional subject that anyone might have got? Yes, so in anthropology the top scorer has got 362. This was the top score ever in any anthropology has been in any optional, and that is with anthropology optional. Here you can see in the year 2018 there was a student and her name was Lakshmi Nagappan. So she got All India rank 45 in 2018 and she got 362 marks. And anthropology is one such subject which is continuously producing results with more than 300 marks each and every year. Okay, that means that such consistent success rate and such consistent results are there from this. So you can see other toppers with good marks. If you see in the year 2022, there was a student and her name was Nidhi Pai. She got All India rank 110 and she got 325 marks. And this was one of the top marks in this year, in 2022, of all optionals. This was the top score. Okay, and like other student, Uma Harati, got secured All India rank 3 and she has scored around 293. That means around 300. Okay, so in 2021 we had some students like Narayan Amit. He has scored 306, and like Shruti Rajalakshmi, she scored 288. So then in 2020 the topper of UPSC has anthropology as an optional, Shubham Kumar, and he secured he has got around 320 marks. And then Lakshmi Nagappan, we have already discussed about her. And then we have like others like Akshat Jain, who got 335 marks in 2018. And then Ayush Sinha, who got 350 marks in 2017. And 2017 was the year of boom for anthropology, where so many of them has secured more than 300 likewise. So you can see like 318, 339, 338 likewise. So that's how anthropology has consistently produced a lot of ranks and good marks. Okay, so if you happen to follow the classes regularly and if you just do some basic research works which will be said in the class, then it is very much possible that you can also score more than 300. Okay, but I'm not saying that it's a cakewalk for everyone, but it can be possible. Okay, impossible itself says I am possible. So it is very much possible for you also, right? So we can have that kind of advantage from anthropology, right? So that is one thing. So then, like we were talking about the overlapping of the syllabus, how anthropology syllabus would be overlapped with the GS portion syllabus. Let's try to see the overlapping portions. Okay, so there are a lot of portions where we can see the overlapping portions of anthropology syllabus with general studies. if you see in GS paper 1, we have Indian society section, and then in paper 1 we have Indian heritage and culture, like in main syllabus, Indian heritage, art and culture, that portion. And apart from that, like we have essay and ethics paper. So if you look at the relevance of these papers, can be seen in these topics. We have nature of culture, nature of society, marriage, family, kinship, religion, culture, language, communication, and race and racism. These topics would be repeated in Indian society and Indian culture and essay and ethics also. If you have knowledge of this, you can just write better in this, perform better in these topics. If you have knowledge of these topics, you can perform better here, right? So things would be repeated. One thing is that if you've done once, like hit one bird at, two birds with one shot, likewise. So this is one area where it gets overlaps. So then if you see in paper 2, where we talk about Indian anthropology, same if we talk about Indian society, where we have some of the topics like demographic profile of India, right? So we have population and associated issues in GS section, society, and then Indian population, factors influencing its structure and growth. This is one topic in anthropology. Same would be there in GS society. So demographic theories, we'll be studying about the demographic theories in human geography also. So here also you will get that theories, Malthusian theories, like you will get those theories. So that things. Then we will have structure and nature of traditional Indian social system, how Indian social system has evolved, like what is caste system, what are the features of Indian society, all those things. So that would be dealt here. So caste system, it's very well known to us. So that would be covered in paper 2, and likewise. And then like next topic is like contributions of anthropology in understanding regionalism, communalism, and all other ethnic political movements. So if you happen to recollect the society section, you will have the topics like regionalism, communalism, and secularism likewise. So that would be overlapping here likewise. So that is one thing. Then if you see in history portion from GS section, so we will study here about Paleolithic, Mesolithic, or Neolithic, or like Chalcolithic, Copper Age, Bronze Age, Iron Age, all these things. We will study there also. Then you will study about the Buddhism, Jainism, all of those things, and how Islam has entered into India, and about Christianity, all those things. And here we will systematically study about what's the impact of those religions, okay, on Indian society, likewise. So then like we will also study some other aspects like the things which you study in the history, like Harappan culture, Indus Valley civilization, like all these things like Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Chalcolithic ages. So this you will study. So at the very beginning, then like those are some portions, okay. Then in modern history, you will study about the socio-religious reform movements, where you will also study about the tribal movements and all those things. So in anthropology also we will have that portion, unrest among tribal people and tribal movements. So if you read there, it will be helpful here also, right? Likewise. So in the similar fashion, these are the overlapping portions with history section, okay. So you will read them, okay. So that's one thing. Then if you look at geography portion, here like we have some topics like tribal situation in India, where we will talk about different tribes and their geographical distribution and all those things. So this topic would be relevant from that section, okay. And then problems of tribal communities, what kind of problems they will face, all those things. And we will have in society section, we will have that we will read about a topic called social empowerment, where we will read about issues faced by various groups like tribals, scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, likewise. So there that topic would be covered. And apart from that, like we will have Indian polity and constitution section. So here also we have some things like linguistic and religious minorities and their socio-political and economic status. So we will study about some of the safeguards for linguistic and religious minorities, Article 29 and 30, right? So that one we will cover, and then there would be various problems faced by scheduled castes and tribes in society. So we will study for them, study about them, and there would be so many constitutional safeguards for scheduled tribes and castes. So we will try to study all of them, like Article 14, Article 15, how they will safeguard the scheduled tribes, and that means vulnerable sections. So same thing we will study there, and concepts would be relevant here also, right? So likewise, so then if you look at the governance and social justice portion, there are some topics like social change and contemporary tribal societies, where impact of modern democratic institutions and developmental programs, welfare measures for tribals and weaker sections. This is what you study in social justice, welfare schemes, and for various sections, like for women, for children, for youth, for tribals, for scheduled castes, for scheduled tribes, all of them. So this would be covered here also. Okay, social justice part also would be covered likewise. Then, like history of administration of tribal areas, tribal policies, plans, programs of tribal development. This is pure, though it is purely for tribals, but this portion would already be covered in social justice portion. Are you getting that? So that is one extra advantage. So likewise, in governance portion, you will get this topic, role of NGOs in the governance. Here we will be talking this from the perspective of tribal development. Okay, so in governance, tribal development is one part. So here we will study in depth about how NGOs will help in the tribal development likewise. So likewise, so in polity, like we will have, we will study about what are states and stateless societies likewise. Here also we will study how the institution of governance has started. Starting from how people try to gather, from there onwards, we will study about that likewise. So that is one portion. Then in paper 3, we have general science and technology portions, where we will study about the human evolution and emergence of man. And then we will study about biological basis of life, like what is cell, differences between cell division, all such kind of basic things. Then like genetics and such kind of portions, human diseases and medicine, vaccines, immunization, all such concepts we will study in science. So, and concept of growth and development, how human being has developed, growth and development concept. So these things would be relevant from paper 3 portion. So likewise, so these are some relevant portions. Then if you see environment ecology, there is a topic called concepts and methods of ecological anthropology. So that topic would be relevant, like what are adaptations, what are acclimatizations, and how man can adapt to various environments. For example, man may be living in higher altitude, man may be living at colder places, man might be living in the hot places. So how man adapts to these things, that would be covered under the ecological anthropology. That is one thing. Okay, so that's how it would be related to paper 3, that portion. Even for economy also and agriculture portion also, there is some overlapping. If you see, like economic organization, nowadays we have advanced modes of economic organizations, like we have market, where we will go for, even we are going for cashless transactions, digital transactions. But in this economic organization, we will study how these economic organizations had a begun, in the sense starting from barter system, how barter system has begun, and what are the various primitive modes of distribution of things, resources likewise. So that things would be studying there. Okay, then apart from that, there are different modes of subsistence, like hunter gathering, fishing, pastoralism, horticulture, agriculture, all those things. So same things you will be studying in paper 3, economy and agriculture section also. So that would be one another overlapping portion, right? So then globalization, this topic is popular in economy as well as in society. So that would also be covered here. So likewise, the last section is internal security. In internal security also, we have some things like the issues related to regionalism and ethnic conflicts, like one of the internal security challenges is clashes among the communities, communal clashes. So here we will have the concept of ethnicity, where we will talk and discuss about the unrest among tribal communities. That means tribal conflicts or like ethnic conflicts and political developments. Ethnic conflicts means clashes between two communities, like what's happening presently in Manipur, like issue in between Kukis and Maitis. So what are they? So such kind of things will be studied. So same things would be relevant from the internal security portion also, right? And likewise, if we cover the entire portion of anthropology, as it is relevant to all the aspects of man, that man performs as a member of society and as through his individual capacity, it is relevant to all the sections, even including ethics and essay paper also. So this is how, if you happen to read anthropology, it fetches you one extra advantage for GS also. You can perform better in essays and better in ethics, and you can have other portions also you can cover. And if you read those portions properly, you can perform very well here also. So it is both a quid pro quo. Give me this, I'll give you that. Likewise. So that's how it would be advantageous from all the areas, right? So this is one of the best optional from that perspective also. And other subjects, if you see, like no subject will have such entire overlapping of all the portions. Like, did any section missed here? No. In the sense, like roughly there is at least some relevance of something, because all these subjects, either it can be polity, it can be economy, it can be geography, it can be history, it is all about humans. So as we are studying about humans, what not it covers. So anthropology is a perfect blend of all the disciplines. So it will have relevance of all the disciplines, like political dimension would be there, social dimension would be there, economic dimension would be there, everything would be covered. So that would be the beauty of anthropology. Okay, so from Monday onwards, like as this was a short introductory and orientation session, from Monday onwards, let's begin our first class, and let's do it in a systematic manner. And from Monday onwards, let's have a marvelous journey, and let's try to just cover entire things in a proper manner. Okay, in the class, how we are going to proceed means, in the class, first of all, like wherever it is necessary, I will explain some portions and then I'll give you the notes. And apart from that, wherever it is required, I'll circulate you the booklets in the sense like daily handouts I'll try to circulate. Okay, so that like everything cannot be written in the class itself. So you will get some extra information through booklets, likewise through handouts point of view. So those handouts would be comprehensive in the sense I can confidently, and I am saying exactly that, like you no need to refer any other resource, because that would be a very good compendium and very good compilation of all the best available resources, okay, in the sense for any subject we doesn't have an appropriate resource which will be exactly used for UPSC preparation. But here, like we are going to circulate such kind of handouts where you can just absolutely reap the fruits of that directly. In the sense, you don't need to just do other or give extra efforts. Simply, you have to just update the examples or case studies. That's it. Okay, through current. You have to just incorporate some of the current developments, and that would be enough. And even in the class also, we'll be dealing the topic in a comprehensive manner. And a comprehensive manner in the sense, we are not going to just waste the time, because time is very precious for you. And I'm not just pointing out any other faculty, but simply I am saying that in our classes, we won't have any faltu ke baatein nahi hote. Yes, simply we will focus only on the exam oriented approach. Okay, what is important for the exam, we will just proceed likewise, and we will just do that thing, and we will just complete the syllabus on time. That would be our target. Okay, so our approach would be exam oriented approach, and our notes and everything would be in such a manner, in the sense, for every topic when we go for writing, we need a short intro, we have to write for a short introduction. So for every topic, let's try to have an introduction. Okay, and that introduction, you can use it without further research work or without further waste of time. You can use such introductions for your answers. Okay, so for every topic, we will write a short introduction, and how we will write in the body portion of exam. Like in the similar manner, we will have our notes for other portion. For example, the main topic, if we say like functions of marriage. So we will go in an exam oriented approach. How much is essential for the exam and what is required for the exam, that one would be there in your notes, right? So even we will write also in the similar fashion. Like for example, like even if we simply talk that thing only, like functions of marriage, like we will have short subheadings, like for example, social functions or economic functions, or like simply like functions. We will list them, and under that we will just have the important points likewise. So this approach will help you to write better answers in the exam also. Okay, so if you happen to follow your notes, that would be sufficient to make better structure in your main answer writing also. Okay, that would be one thing. So apart from this, like for every topic, as we have these things, like we will have concluding lines also. That thing also I'll be just dictating, and you will be having that also. So by that, introductions and conclusions would be done, and body portions, though I'll be just giving you the notes, some things you have to add. Okay, that value addition you have to do by yourselves. Like anyhow, like I'll suggest what to do in the class by the end of the class. So if you follow that, then that would be done also. Okay, that would be one thing. So then apart from this, like this is how we will just deal in the class, right? So mostly, and other advantage of anthropology optional would be that with reference to the questions, we were talking about the questions. So if you see paper 1 and paper 2, like did anyone had a view of previous year papers? Okay, so generally we will have 29 questions in anthropology with choice. 29 questions would be there. So out of the 29 questions, you have to write 19 questions on total. Complete 19 questions you have to write. So anthropology is one topic where okay, let's wait. So it's one subject where we can have direct questions. Direct questions in the sense, like if you just try to okay, let's wait. Like if you happen to take your syllabus, can you see class 2 syllabus, nature of culture? There can you see ethnocentrism versus cultural relativism topic? Questions would be as direct likewise. So there would be some short answer questions where you will get the questions, like for example 10 marker questions would be short questions. Simply question would be this: write a short notes on. Write a short notes on. So question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions would be there, it would be given, and there things would be direct in the sense, write a short notes on ethnocentrism, or it can be like cultural relativism, such topics. All of them. For example, social stratification. Next topic you can see in class 3, like social stratification. Write a short notes on social stratification. That's how question would be. Or marriage. Then you can see write a short notes on laws of marriage, write a short notes on types of marriages. That's how questions would be, or in any topic, as the things have been clearly defined, you can expect such kind of direct questions. Such direct questions in each paper, there would be 10 direct questions, 10 direct questions and simple questions. That means in every paper, roughly 100 marks would be very simple, and you can just write them in a direct manner. And the rest 9 questions, which would be the long questions, like you will have to write 20 marker questions and you will have to write 15 marker questions, right? So these questions also, they involves very slight application. There won't be much application or much analytical knowledge is not required. So questions would be direct and straightforward. So that's how questions would be. So okay. So questions would be direct in the sense, okay, it's getting strict. Okay, just otherwise like go through the questions once, so you will get an understanding. See, look at this question which is available here. Chromosomal aberrations can play havoc with the human body and mind. Explain with suitable examples. So if you happen to look at the class number uh, class number 33 and class number 32, 33 and 32. The topic is related to chromosomes and chromosomal aberrations. Okay, so the topic is simple. The central theme was chromosomal aberrations. Okay, it has gone. So it's playing with us. So the topic was chromosomes and chromosomal aberrations. So same thing we have saw here also. Okay, so that's how questions would be. There won't be much technically difficult things. Simply like chromosomal aberrations, they have given in a sentence word, but the central theme is like question was on chromosomal aberrations likewise. So that's how questions will also be there. So otherwise, let's try to open other folder. Let's go for paper 2, otherwise let's see will it have open or not. See, if you see in paper 2, questions might be like this. Simply there can be questions like Purushartha and righteous living today. This is one question. Here in paper 2 you can see the thing like look at class 69, where you have structure and nature of traditional Indian traditional system. There you have a topic called Varnashram Purushartha. So the topic is direct, simply Purushartha. So Purushartha and connectivity to righteous living today. Likewise, the questions would be direct in the sense like you can take, for example, Harappan seals. You will be studying that in history also, and here also you have like Harappan culture. So Harappan seals, that would be simple thing, like we can deal it. And other things would be like this, relevance of tribe caste continuum. So simply if you see this topic is also directly, it would be there. Look at class number 70, and in that look at the end point of class number 70, tribe caste continuum. Can you see? So question is this thing only, like relevance of tribe caste continuum. Simply, they have added one word, that's it. That's how, okay? So all others also, if you look, they would be like that only. So look at this question, critically discuss the origin of Indus Valley civilization. अगर आप लोग एंथ्रोपोलॉजी में भी नहीं पढ़ रहे हो तो भी हो जाएगा, जैसे हिस्ट्री में कवर हो जाएगा वैसे इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन, तो सेम थिंग वुड बी कवर्ड हियर. तो likewise there would be inherent advantages. Look at this question, give the distribution and characteristic features of upper Paleolithic culture. Anyhow, here it would be little technical, but still upper Paleolithic age, so that would be covered in history also. So likewise, then if you happen to see the question here, like explain the impact of concept of nature man spirit complex on sustainable use of natural resources with suitable examples. So the chief concept or central theme is nature man spirit complex. Okay, so just look at class number 71. Class number 71, what's the topic there? Sacred complex and nature man spirit complex. That means themes would be direct, slight application without, like they have to made it into a sentence format, so they have made it, that's it. So there won't be much technical issues, but other subjects they will make we need to have more analytical knowledge to decode the question itself. You might be just watching it in GS sections, like where we have to just decode the question what they are asking, but here we have that ease in anthropology. Likewise, you can take anything, like here the next topic is examine the contributions of S.C. Roy in highlighting the role of customary laws in tribal life. So look at the 73 to 75 topic, where we have contributions of Indian anthropologists. Contributions of Indian anthropologists. So one among the important person was S.C. Roy, Sharat Chandra Rai. So we will study about each one. So likewise, every year they will pick one scholar. Every year they will pick one scholar. So if you read, like there would be hardly 5 to 10 scholars, important scholars. If you read them, sure shot question, no doubt in that. Likewise, so that is also one predicted area. Then look at this question, critically assess the impact of Christianity on tribal culture and identity. Okay, impact of Christianity. Now you look at the concept, class 72, where impact of Buddhism, Jainism, Islam on Indian society, that is one section. And the same thing, you just look at the class number 87, class number 87, impact of Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, Islam and other religions and tribal societies. Can you see that section? So there they have picked impact of Christianity. The topic is this thing, critically assess the impact of Christianity on tribal communities. Is there any subjectivity in this? Like every year they will pick one impact. One year they will talk about impact of Christianity, one year impact of Buddhism, one year impact of Islam, one year impact of other religion, likewise Jainism, that's it. So one year they have picked. So next year we can expect other religious impact. So that is very well predicted, and if we have proper notes for all the topics, then we can nail anthropology optional properly. Okay, so are you getting like what I'm trying to say? So that's how it would be the best optional, because if you look at other subjects, same things would be relevant in sociology also, but problem with sociology would be that like it needs more of analytical knowledge. There won't be something directly like this. They will ask in depth. They will go to the various aspects. For example, social stratification. If we have social stratification, question here would be direct. Write a short notes on social stratification. That would be the question. But in sociology, they will ask the questions like critically analyze the social stratification, Max Weber's theory of social stratification. But here we don't need to read and we don't need to go in depth, because scope of anthropology is very broad. We have to cover sociological aspects, physical aspects, biological aspects, and tribals, Indian anthropology, all these things. So they cannot go in depth. But in sociology, they will pick only one theme, that is socio-cultural portion of anthropology, where this syllabus would be constrained, so they have to go in depth. So when they go in depth, obviously questions would be more analytical and questions would be more in depth likewise. Okay, but in anthropology that's not the case. Whatever is mentioned in the syllabus you can just expect in the paper, that's it. Okay, for that point of view, like if we have, like see here, discuss the contributions of N.K. Bose, there we have choice of questions. So in this you have to pick at least two questions you have to write. That means question number 3 or question number 4. In one he is asking about S.C. Roy, in other question he is asking about N.K. Bose. Here also there is an extra advantage. If you happen to miss to read about S.C. Roy, at least you might be reading about N.K. Bose, Nirmal Kumar Bose. So that's how also it would be advantageous likewise. So I wanted to show this because it will highlight the importance in the sense like how it would be useful for your exam likewise. So likewise, so this is how the questions would be, and there won't be much issues. See, questions would be straightforward. Urbanization and tribal institutions, same topics would be here in the syllabus likewise. So that's how you will get the questions, and you can look any other questions, all of them would be in such a fashion only. Okay, so discuss the impact of Forest Rights Act on the livelihood and culture of tribal peoples. So you will have a question on, you will have a concept, look at the topic look at class 85 likewise, 85, 84. 82, class number 82. In class number 82, can you see developmental projects, their impacts on tribes, problems of rehabilitation, and development of forest policy and tribals. Development of forest policy. So, like one of the important forest act and forest policy is Forest Rights Act 2016. Okay, so that is the question. So in such a way questions would be like that. So this is one inherent advantage of anthropology optional. Okay, in any other optional you won't get such an advantage. So look at this question, delineate the constitutional safeguards of religious minorities in India. Constitutional safeguards, simply questions would be same. So you can see, like as I was saying, like look at class 84, the last line of class 84, there you can see constitutional safeguards of scheduled tribes and scheduled castes. That is one way. And look at class 77. Class 77, there you have linguistic religious minorities. So here they are asking about the religious minorities. So we will study about those constitutional safeguards for this religious minorities. Same thing you will be studying in polity also, likewise. So now tell me, is that familiar? Is it familiar or is it tough? Things are there in anthropology. Things are familiar only, provided if you just focus there, it would be advantageous here, likewise. So portion is very much overlapping and the questions would be very much direct. But I am not saying that they would be absolutely easy, but thing is that like in every optional there would be some hardships. Hardships also would be there. So if you see what kind of hardships means, roughly 29 questions would be there in entire paper. Out of that you have to write 19 questions. Okay, 10 markers, and rest 3 questions you have to write, which is of 50. So 10 markers means 100 marks. So that would be one thing, and 3 questions each of 50 marks. That would be that makes 250 marks. In these 3 questions you will have one 20 marker question, one 15 marker, and another 15 marker. Likewise, question would be there, right? So here, if you look, likewise, we have to write a total of 10 plus 9, 19 questions, right? So if we look the beauty of anthropology, out of these 29 questions, roughly 20 to 22 questions would be straightforwarded, That means out of these 20, 10 questions would be direct, one liner, simple one word question. It's not a question, it's a word, direct, like as you saw examples likewise. So that is one thing. So rest 10 to 12 questions would be one liner, slight application, that's it. Okay, if you happen to read the syllabus properly, if you happen to prepare notes for each topic properly, then obviously it is done, right? And hardly roughly 7 to 8 questions would be in detail. So you have to read in detail, in the sense like we have saw the Forest Rights Act that has been mentioned under the development of forest policies and acts, likewise. So likewise, though that would be covered in classes, likewise. So that's how questions would be asked. So these 7 to 8 questions would be different. So we have to just focus on such questions. Okay, so we will see and we will focus how such kind of things would be asked, and implicit areas also we will be focusing in depth in the class, likewise. So that's how it would be advantageous, right? So is that clear? So that is with respect to things like various aspects like about anthropology. Why is it the best optional? And answer to that questions were like we had those points. So now next thing would be that how we have to proceed with this. Okay, so we just had a view why anthropology is the best optional, and we had everything, we had just covered everything. Okay, now how to just approach, So what you have to do is that in order to just get proper orientation, first thing is that you have to just go for regular classes. That is first, because mostly people will think like they may cover through self-study likewise, but problem is that you have to know what to read, where to read, how to read, and how much to read. If you sit and read continuously, you will go on reading. There are so many books available and you don't know how much to read. So in classes, we will be focusing on all these things. What to read? We have to go through syllabus, and where to read. In class, we'll be providing the class notes, which would be the best one, like where the best compilation, which has been done from all the references. Like if you look at the beauty of our constitution, Ambedkar has said that like Constitution of India has been, it's a beautiful thing like which has been ransacked by all the constitutions. So in the similar fashion, like our notes would be that one, like it eases your preparation likewise. So that would be one thing, and we'll tell about like where to read, wherever references are needed. I'll be explaining to read which book likewise for further reference. Then how to read. How to read means like we have a sequence. So we will go through the sequence, and after the class you will be getting that orientation. Then how much to read. Generally this is very, very important with reference to optional. Usually students will feel like optional means we have to have a PhD kind of knowledge. No, it's a myth. Optional is also another paper in UPSC, right? So you no need to just become a master in the subject. Simply, if you have the fair knowledge of the subjects, that's enough. So how much to read or how much to refer, that will be telling, and that orientation you will be getting. For that, regular classes is required. So that is one thing. So then once you just do that classes, by that time like you will get the complete knowledge about the syllabus. Then what you have to do, like after completion of the topic, you have to just go for basic research and development, in the sense basic research, like how previous year questions have been asked from this topic. You have to have a look. So when you look that, obviously you will get some idea how the questions can be asked from this topic. So when you get this particular thing, obviously you can just prepare some or you can practice those questions. Okay, likewise. So that thing you have to do. Then once you just complete the classes and once you become the once you master the syllabus of anthropology, then you can start making a concised, crisp notes. Okay, anyhow you will get things in class and things would be done. So after the completion of class, you will get the knowledge about previous year questions also. Based on this knowledge, after the completion of the classes, you have to just make a crisp notes which you can use it before the exam. So things should be done simultaneously. These three things should be done simultaneously while classes are running. Okay, so then after preparing your notes, like after completion of your entire classes and after completion of your entire notes, you have to work on the skill enhancement, or you have to work on value addition things like preparing diagrams, preparing flow charts, preparing tables, or preparing such kind of practicing for such kind of diagrams likewise. So when you do that, you will be well acquainted with all your weapons for writing practice. So that's the time, that's the right time where you can just start your practice of one's writing. Are you getting that? So for that means before you go for answer writing, you have to have all these resources. You have to cover the classes, you have to gain the knowledge, and you have to master the syllabus, and then you have to be ready with your notes, and you have to prepare your value addition material. And then if you go for answer writing practice, there you can just improve the skills of answer writing, right? So that would be the next step. And after writing this, you can just test your management of skills, like how could you be able to write or manage the time in the exam, how to manage whether time is sufficient or like space is sufficient. Likewise, you can just check about such kind of things, and you can do that with the help of a test series if you want. That would be the final step. So finally, like, do not retain the knowledge with you only. If you retain the knowledge, you won't get anything. So what you have to do is that you have to discuss and you have to debate these concepts with your friends. So usually it is believed that most of the UPSC aspirants will keep their knowledge with them, thinking that if they share the knowledge, then it may be advantageous for others. Don't think likewise. If you're sharing the knowledge and if you're caring for others, it yields you also. In the sense, like education, like sharing the educational knowledge, if you share that, your knowledge also grows. So keep that thing in mind. So that would be one thing which you have to do at the end. You have to discuss, debate all other concepts likewise. So this would be the right strategy and right approach. Okay, so at the beginning class we were talking about right optional. So we have said all the things like how anthropology is the right optional, right? Right time for doing that would be this period. That means roughly before December, if you complete the optional, like that would be the best period, so that you will get an extra time for revision, and you can finish this well before the prelims. So that would be one thing. And wherever, for example, if you have slight lags, you can finish things through writing also. You can spend by the time November, if you complete it by November, if you are completing everything, including classes, including notes, including that research and all other works, then from December to Feb, in these 3 months, you can go for answer writing practice. You can write and you can test your skills and you can improvise yourselves. So by February, you can finish this practice also. And then like you can focus in March to May, you can focus for pre. So then from June to September, you can focus again on the test series and further revision. So that's how you can just give your best in best for mains also. So right time for completion of optional would be this period, that is hardly from August to November. So that's why we are beginning our batch also in this time, so that you will get a fair time for reading, revision and all for all other things. So this is the right time, and right strategy would be like what we have discussed. And what's the right time means, like we are saying, like in our organization, like we will be going to do whatever things we are doing. We have already said why you should pick Eden IAS, in the sense like we are just going to do things in a systematic manner. Our notes would be the best notes. And apart from this, I've missed to say you one thing, that after completion of each module means like first module would be of sociocultural anthropology, 15 classes. After completion of that, let's have a short and a crisp rapid revision classes for 2 days, where let us try to cover and let us try to revise the portions or revise the things in a crisp manner, whatever we have read. Okay, or 2 to 3 in 2 to 3 classes, let's try to do that. So if we do that, you will get one rapid revision, and it helps you to recollect the things. Okay, so time and again we'll be revising that. Okay, after completion of every module, like for example, second module will be theories and thoughts. After completion of that, let's go for a quick revision. That means roughly for every 15 days, we will have 2 to 3 revision classes. In regular classes, I'll be speaking more. Though the classes would be interactive, it won't be like today's class, like where I am speaking much. Classes would be interactive, where you will be speaking and I'll be speaking. Okay, but in revision classes, it would be that like you have to speak more and I will be listening you, right? So likewise, so we will have that revision classes. After completion of each module, we will go for that. And after completion of each module, you will also have a sectional test, so that you can just go through, you can test yourself and you can evaluate yourself to how far you are acquainted with the topics. Likewise, that would be one thing. And apart from that, like daily I'll just dictate one question or 2 questions related to the topic which we are covering, and you can write answers for those questions also, so that daily improvements can also be possible. Okay, that is one thing. And with this, after completion of a week, let's try to analyze on weekly basis. We'll be analyzing how your progress with reference to your answer writing. That means by the end of the week, or we have to just evaluate ourselves. We have to reanalyze ourselves, like for the first day of your answer writing and the 5th day of your answer writing, what improvements you had. We will try to analyze that and we will just check that one also. So by this way, daily we will cover classes, daily we can just focus on writing, daily weekly we can have analysis of your writing, improvements of you, and then for fortnightly, that means for 15 days once, we can just have the evaluation through sectional tests, and for after completion of each module, you can have your revision also be done. So in all manners, we would be doing that. Okay, so that's how we will be proceeding. So and apart from that, we'll be providing you some, you will be getting some booklets also, which will help you for further understanding of the concepts. Whatever we are giving in the classes, that would be a good thing. Apart from that, for further references, like you will get some booklets also, so where you can have the information in a printed form. So that will also be there. So that is one thing. So you will get all these things. So from that point of view, we can say that here we can cover it in a systematic manner, in an exam-oriented approach. Keep this thing in mind, like we will completely focus on exam-oriented approach, and we won't have any other kind of discussions or like time-waste procedures will not be there. So that is one thing. So right optional, right time, right strategy, right place is done, and right mentor. Anyhow, I should not talk about myself, but anyhow, you will get to know like why. Okay, so you will understand slowly like how I'll be supporting, in the sense like till completion of your course, we'll be just in touch, and you can approach me at any time with a proper procedure protocol. You can take up a simple appointment or like doubt session counter, or like immediately after the class also you can approach me with any of your doubts. I'll be ready to clarify those, right? So likewise we'll be proceeding. So that's how, and that's about our things related to our course. Things related to our course. So this is about how to approach. We have done how to approach. So that's one thing. So that's all from my side. Okay. So is there any doubts from your side? Any doubts from your side, or any further things which you are expecting to know? Online students, do you have any doubts? Any doubts from online students? Right. So other thing which we have missed is with reference to books and resources. Like, are you aware like what books to proceed with? So simply like one best thing would be the class notes. Very important resource would be the class notes, and this would be a best compilation, as I have said you, best compilation. And then like next thing would be the printed material which would be circulated to you, because this would also be a good compilation from various resources. Okay, so that would be your next thing. So then for each module you will have resources, in the sense, for let us say first to say for socio-cultural part, for socio-cultural anthropology, you have some books, like one would be written by Madan and Majumdar. Introduction to Socio-Cultural Anthropology by Madan and Majumdar. This would be one source. And apart from this, like an outline of Socio-Cultural Anthropology that has been written by Naresh Kumar Vaid. So this would be another important resource. You can pick any one, and one of the best source apart from our class notes would be like you can pick N.K. Vaid, Socio-Cultural Anthropology. Okay, that gives you a right approach. Okay, so one thing is enough. And remember, too many sources will make you make your preparation clumsy. Don't make too many resources. Be clear with your number of resources. Simply to say, like there is a famous saying also, like too many cooks will spoil the broth. In the sense, if we are just adding everything to the food, obviously it will become a khichdi. Like simply we will add everything and that becomes a khichdi, and we won't get a fair thing likewise. So don't have multiple resources. Restrain and restrict your resources so that your preparation will be in a better channelized manner likewise. So this would be one best reference for socio-cultural anthropology. And next, for physical anthropology or biological anthropology. For this portion, you have one important book, like it has been written by a scholar called P. Nath. This would be one reference. For physical anthropology, P. Nath or B.M. Das. P. Nath or B.M. Das. Anyone you can pick, and amongst that, P. Nath would be the best one. Okay, so you just refer so that try to just have a look at the language of the books. Likewise, whichever it's comfortable for you, you can just proceed. Both of them would be good. So that is one thing. So then we have the next area, like the archaeological anthropology. This would be another section where we will study about prehistoric cultures. Likewise, archaeological anthropology. For this, you will have a book called An Outline of Prehistoric Archaeology by D.K. Bhattacharya. D.K. Bhattacharya. This would be one book for prehistoric, for anthropological archaeology, that is anthropological anthropology, archaeological anthropology, Outline of Prehistoric Archaeology by D.K. Bhattacharya. That would be one thing. So in paper 1 itself, we will have other topic called applied anthropology, applications of anthropology. For that, the book would be, one book would be for applied anthropology by L.P. Vidyarthi. L.P. Vidyarthi. So this would be one best book. Okay, Applied Anthropology by L.K. Vidyarthi. So these are very important sources for your paper 1. Okay, so these resources would be sufficient from paper 1 point of view. Okay, and then there are, in paper 2, we have other sections like Indian anthropology. For Indian anthropology, you can just have one source, that is Indian anthropology by Nadeem Hasnain. By Nadeem Hasnain. So this would be one best reference for the first part of paper 2. Okay, then last section would be the tribal anthropology. For tribal anthropology, you will have L.P. Vidyarthi's book. L.P. Vidyarthi. Tribal anthropology by L.P. Vidyarthi. Okay, these would be the best resources. So like slowly you will be getting the approach paper also, like you will get the approach paper also. In this also, like I have mentioned, other references, but amongst those references, these would be the best and finalized references which you can follow. And apart from these, if you want to have general orientation of anthropology, what is anthropology, or overview, just to have an overview of anthropology, you can have some things. Okay, but these are must references which you can refer for further enhancement after the classes. Okay, and if you want to just have basic understanding of anthropology, then you can just proceed with like some books like Kerala Board SCERT textbooks will be there. Class 11th and class 12th. This would be, these books will give you basic insights or basic understanding of what is anthropology, or very basics. Like NCERTs you will read for GS, in the similar fashion you can keep these books for likewise for basic understanding. And in an advanced standard reference, if you want to have an overview of anthropology, you can refer Anthropology by Ember and Ember. Anthropology by Ember and Ember. Okay, but even without reading the Anthropology by Amber and Amber also, you can proceed, no problem. Okay, but if you are intended and if you want to just go through in depth, then you can just proceed with these references. Okay, so these would be the best references, and along with this you will have to continuously refer some of the websites also. So one website would be like, as there is a continuous as half of the portion in paper 2 is related to tribals, so you have to regularly visit the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Ministry of Tribal Affairs. So this is must. Ministry of Tribal Affairs, and amongst this there would be various schemes, there would be various programs, there would be various initiatives, like all such things you have to, or developmental projects, everything would be just mentioned in the under that. Okay, so Ministry of Tribal Affairs would be one thing which gives you that orientation. Apart from this Ministry of Tribal Affairs, for having knowledge about the schemes, programs, you can also refer the Vikaspedia.com. Vikaspedia.com. This would be another source where you can find the information about the schemes, initiatives, all these things. And Vikaspedia, go to the tribe. It is also government site, so we have to go for authenticated and likewise. Okay, that is one thing. So this would be one thing. So then, like then regularly try to just go through some of the regular things, like you can just go through newspapers. So in newspapers you will get some articles, wherever it is relevant for our portions you have to just cover that one, and then you can just cover EPW, Economic and Political Weekly, EPW, where you will get some more information about some developmental projects or like social, political, economic issues. So EPW you have to just cover, and then you have to just go through there would be one report called Zaza, Virginius Zaza Committee report. So you will also have to read about this Zaza Committee report. Like if you talk about the governance section, you will have to read the second ARC report for writing better answers and for enhancing your concepts, second ARC report. In the similar fashion, for doing better things with reference to tribal part, you have to refer this Zaza report. So that is Virginia Zaza, we will have that one. Virginius Zaza. So this would be one committee which you have to refer, and from these sources you can pick the important examples and you can pick the important case studies required for our syllabus. You can pick the case studies and you can pick the examples from these sources. Okay, so that would be some resources which you have to refer from outside the classes. And apart from this, we have one thing called like University of Alabama. University of Alabama. So you have to refer this site, University of Alabama site, in order to just read more about the anthropological theories and thoughts. Anthropological theories and thoughts. That means to read more about the scholars. University of Alabama, the official site of University of Alabama, like where you will be getting further information about the theories and thoughts likewise. So that would be one of the list of resources which you can have, right? So And apart from this, which online sites which you have to refer means, we have an organization called Anthropological Survey of India. Okay, like Archaeological Survey of India, we have Anthropological Survey of India. So you have to refer these Anthropological Survey of India also on regular basis for further developments with reference to anthropology. Okay, this would be one thing. So you will have like you can search like Anthropological Survey of India, you will get that one. So that would be one thing. So then finally, like a last thing which you can further collect is that there is a 2014 edition of Yojana. 2014 January edition of Yojana magazine. So this 2014 January edition of Yojana, it is entirely related to tribal and marginalized communities. Okay, so it is related to tribal plus marginalized communities. So this thing will also comes in handy for your further enhancement of concepts. Okay, so this sums up all the references and books also. Okay, likewise. So that's with respect to books and references. Okay, further, do you have any further doubts like myths? EPW, Economic Political Weekly. Economic and Political Weekly. It's a magazine like Yoshna, Kurukshetra, EPW also one weekly magazine. Likewise. Okay. So is there anyone has issues with like something like I don't have science background and how can I just proceed with that? Such kind of doubts. Is there anyone? Don't worry. No need to just think likewise. We saw syllabus. We have said like social cultural part is there, physical, that means biological part is there, then other portions are also there. So it would be social science portion would be roughly 20% of entire syllabus. So don't worry about one section. And if you are not acquainted with drawing good diagrams, don't worry, anyhow, we will try to just, we can just learn that also. As we have already said, impossible itself says, I am possible. So it is very much possible on practice. So don't worry with that. And with reference to examples and case studies, we'll be having the best case studies and best examples. And trust me, it makes even your life interesting if you learn anthropology. And it makes you a holistic human being. In the sense, what things you don't know about humans also you'll be learning. Like there would be weird customs. There would be weird customs. There would be weird practices. There would be weird cultural traditions. There would be astonishing facts from physical anthropology. And there would be like, you will learn about tribals and tribal activities. They will bring you, like they'll bring humor also to your life. So all those things would be, they will just mesmerize even in your day-to-day life also. Okay, we will try to learn and we will try to just cover all of them in a systematic manner. Okay, so on this note, like, any doubts finally? No, it's already published. Anyhow, from internet sources you will get, otherwise like I will also circulate when we go to that particular thing. Anyhow, one group will be made for you, so you will get that Zaza committee report recommendations, and I will also provide from my side. Okay, so you yourself also can search, and anyhow, when things comes, I will also circulate the necessary resources likewise. Okay, so don't worry about that. So anything? So on this note, let's conclude our class and let's try to begin our first class from Monday onwards. And like, trust me, like this journey would be, again I am saying this journey would be a marvelous journey, and you can just enjoy this journey, not just for the examination purpose, but to just enrich, to enlighten yourself also as a human being. Being a human being, we have to know about human beings, isn't it? See, as we are human beings, अगर हम अपने खुद के बारे में नहीं जानते तो किसके बारे में जानते? So we have to know, and we have to know about ourselves. In search of ourselves, we'll be just going in the classes. We will just explore everything about ourselves as a human being and in the society as well as an individual, right? So that's all for today from my side.